can help you. We are going to be recording this meeting for those who've missed it and want to then, see it in the future. Okay. Stephanie sent me a message. I'll read it in a second, Stephanie. Thank you. And so we have this forum here for you, and at the end we'll have some Q&A. So at this time, I don't see any of my fellow board members here. So I don't have the minutes to share with you at this time, so we'll just table that for the next meeting, or if they come up, we can table it for later on this meeting. At this time, I want to welcome Danielle, our superintendent, and she's going to give her report.
Okay. Hi, everyone. So just a few announcements, and then I will open up the chat for Q&A for anyone that may have any questions about some of the new policies that have come out, or parent perspective on any of the COVID-19 stay safe, stay open concerns that parents may be giving to you, asking you about. So just some announcements about enrollment. So enrollment for 3K and pre-K is now open. You can set up your MySchools account. With MySchools, you can explore your child's school options. I know that many of you already may have one, but to apply for pre-K, 3K, you should do outreach to individual schools that you're interested in. Kindergarten, the kindergarten application has been open, and the deadline to apply was January 18th. For middle schools, applications opened the week of January 10th, and the deadline to apply will be during the week of February 28th. Personalized welcome letters, which include information on how to set up your MySchools account, were shared with families in mid-December. As you know, District 25, different from other districts, is a middle school choice district, which means that students in any of our elementary schools can apply to any middle school, 6 to 12, K to 8 school that they're interested in. High school applications open today. I know that there were some problems with the portal, so I will say to families today that if you have any questions or concerned about high school applications, you can always contact your school's parent coordinator or your child's guidance counselor. As you all know, beginning the week of January 3rd, we began to distribute free take-home COVID-19 rapid test kits to any student or staff who exhibited COVID-like symptoms or had been in a classroom where a positive case was identified. Any student who tests positive on a take-home test should immediately report it to the school and begin isolating. Students who test positive must isolate for 10 days and can return to school on day 11. No negative test is required to return to school. As a reminder, all students, staff, and visitors must pass the DOE health screener, which has changed since the beginning of the year, in order to enter school buildings. Additional questions have been added to the health screener for those students and staff who receive at-home rapid test kits to share their negative results. No other proof of a negative result is required in order for these students to enter the school building, so they just ask. You don't have to, upload anything. For students in kindergarten through grade 12, unvaccinated or those not yet fully vaccinated students who were in close proximity to a positive case will no longer have to quarantine and will continue attending school if they do not have symptoms and do not have a positive test result from a COVID test. Instead, all students and adults in that classroom will receive a take-home rapid test kit and take 2 tests over the course of 5 days, unless they feel ill within one of the 5 days, and they can take the COVID test as soon as they are feeling symptoms. To ensure further safety of our students, families, and staff, the in-school surveillance testing program is expanding to double the number of individuals tested in each school, including both vaccinated and unvaccinated students in grades 1 and up. So at this time, I wanted to open up the floor to anyone who had questions or concerns around any issues that parents have had this month or prior.
I have a question, Danielle, because I'm writing the notes, because just in case. You said for the vaccinated, but that's no longer the policy right now. It's unvaccinated or vaccinated. No kid will have to quarantine if they have if they don't have a positive result on the take home.
Right, yes.
So it doesn't matter if they're vaccinated or not vaccinated. They just can't come to school with COVID, period. Because
No,
before,
it matters if they're exposed to COVID-19 outside of school. So if mom or dad test positive for COVID-19 and the child is not vaccinated, they must quarantine. for 10
Quarantine, right.
days.
oh, I thought that they said that as long as the child tested negative, he can go to school.
Yeah, the test to stay program is only for exposure inside of school, not for exposure outside of school.
See, I went to a meeting where they said that because a parent, the question was actually, now that you brought that up, that all the family members had COVID except the student, but the family wanted to keep the student home because just in case, but the child kept testing negative on the rapid test. So the people at the DOE giving the meeting said, then the child should be in school. So I don't know. So they were just saying,
Then that student was fully vaccinated.
I don't know. That I don't know.
Yeah. Louis and I can double check, but it's you can't pass the health screener if you've been exposed to someone who has COVID and outside of school and you're not fully vaccinated. You can't pass the health screener.
That's correct. Yeah, it's all in the health screening. It's the third question.
Okay. Let me see. I don't see any hands raised. Anyone have a question?
Hi, I have a question. So
Hi,
what
Stephanie.
happens to the students that test positive that have COVID in regards to their attendance?
So I will say that you should specifically reach out to your school to see exactly what their systems are for documenting that. But if you test positive and have COVID and you have to quarantine, you do fall under the opportunity to have asynchronous learning and office hours. So each school should be communicating to their families exactly how students check in to do their work. And if they are doing their work, they are marked present. If your child is home and is not doing their work, though, they are not marked present.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else? Okay, I have
Question.
there's a question. Go ahead, Tiffany, and then there's a question.
Sorry, I couldn't
It's okay. Go
get
ahead.
my raised hand to go up. I had a couple parents ask if the child is absent because they did test positive for COVID, is there a Zoom for them or do they just get written work? Like some parents are confused. I told them to reach out to the school, but I wanted to know if there was like a set policy. Like,
There is asynchronous work and office hours that are designated hours for students to meet with their teachers.
okay. So they'll meet them via Zoom office hours meeting?
Yes,
is it
office
just-
hours are Zoom office hours. The work that's posted is asynchronous, meaning they log into their Google Classroom, their work is there, and then there's office hours times for teachers to meet with students.
Thank you.
There's another question is, if the child does not have COVID, but the family does, do they still get office hours if they stay home?
So if the child does not have COVID, they won't pass the health screener. And the family does. If they're vaccinated, they should be coming to school. If they're not vaccinated, they don't pass the health screener, and therefore they should call their school, but they would be eligible to get office hours.
I thought they still had to get the test negative to come to school, but but Louis said that's if someone is supposed in school. What's the difference if the person could be vaccinated and have COVID in school?
But what if the parents just keeping the kid home? Like, do they still get the office hours even if the kids doing the asynchronous work? Are they still entitled
If
to?
if you have COVID and your child is not vaccinated, they don't pass the health screener, and therefore they're quarantined.
But what if they don't have COVID at all and the parents just keeping them home? Then they're not entitled to office hours, right?
If nobody has COVID in the house,
Right. And the parents just keeping the child home from
as of
school
right-
in like
right?
their
As
fear,
of right
their
now,
personal.
as of right now, yes, there are discussions, and we're waiting to hear more from the chancellor and the mayor in regards to how they are managing discussions around remote options. But as of right now, no.
Okay, thanks.
Dana?
Hi, good evening. Quick question regarding office hours. When you refer to office hours, do you mean like hours that are teachers are available after school, or are they expected to meet with parents or children during the school hours?
There are certain times that are designated that your child's teacher will communicate to you, because each teacher would have a different time depending upon their scheduling as to when office hours take place. It can occur both times at whatever fits into the teacher's schedule, but that should be communicated to children and their families about what time a teacher will be holding office hours.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, I don't see anyone have any more questions.
Right, and one last thing, Francis. So I didn't get a chance to say this because now it's the end of the month already, but as many of you know, we do have a new mayor and a new chancellor. So we are working very closely with the chancellor to have him come visit 25 to get to know our schools and our amazing communities and students. So I'm really excited about that, and hopefully we can see him in the near future. Okay, so if there's no other questions, Francis, thank you.
Thank you, Danielle. Okay, so at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Shirley, and she has a great presentation for us tonight. And Shirley.
Yay, Shirley.
Hey, good evening. Happy New Year, District 25, President's Council members. My name is Shirley Obey. I am co-president of Queens High School President's Council, and I'm also part of a district leadership team for District 25. So I was invited to share and go over the revisions of the A660 that passed back in November. Can I be able to share my screen? Right now I can't.
Louis, can you make her a host? Okay, hold on one second.
I am only a co-host. I cannot do it.
I can do it then. Hold on one second, Shirley.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Shirley.
All right. And okay. Thank you. So let's move it. Everybody sees the slides?
Yes.
Okay, so before the PEP passed the revisions for the A660 back on November 18th, the last time that the Chancellor's Regs A660 were updated was January 19, 2017. So what are the changes? One of the main changes of the A660 is the way that PA, PTAs, and President's Councils can meet. So they define what it means. Meeting formats: in-person, virtual, and hybrid were added to the changes of way that PA, PTAs can meet. The eligibility for membership for associations was expanded to include 3K or pre-K if the program was offered in the school under the jurisdiction of the community school district, meaning it's a public school and it's part of the district. It has the district borough number, and it's not a private 3K or pre-K. So those schools that offer 3K and pre-K, those parents are now eligible to be members of the PA-PTA. So again, the A6060 refers to VRP, which stands for Virtually Remote Platform, when you conduct PA-PTAs, and also included that voting privileges at the PA-PTA and President's Council meeting have been extended to include voting on a virtual platform. Election meetings for the associations and the President's Councils is the only exception where there's 3 choices. When you're holding elections for the PA-PTAs, it's limited to either you have to choose, membership needs to choose whether it's going to be in person or on a virtual platform. That's the only way you can conduct elections for PA-PTAs. The notice of election meeting for the PA-PTAs must include the format. So if it's going to be in person, it indicates that it's in person. If it's virtual, it must say that it's in virtual and what virtual format you're using and the location. If it's hybrid, it did indicate that it's in person and it's on. You can attend in person or virtually. So at one time, if some of you may remember, for the education councils, the CECs and the citywide education councils, at one point it was only the core members of the PA-PTA who were voting. Now that they open it up to all families can vote, so they removed that from the A660. In light of the changes, the bylaws must indicate how a PA-PTA is going to meet, how they're going to host the meetings. Are they going to do it in person? Are they going to do it virtual? Or are they going to do it hybrid meetings? The choice is not limited to those 3. You can alternate. 1 month is hybrid, 1 month it's in person, 1 month is virtual. You need to have a discussion with your PA-PTAs and decide what is best for the school or for the association, what works best from that school. So again, same thing. You're going to determine, the memberships are going to determine how you're going to hold your general membership and executive board meetings, whether they're going to be an in-person, hybrid, or virtually, just strictly virtual. So the quorum on a hybrid meeting requires that at least one of the executive board members must be in the school premises. So if you decide to have a hybrid meeting, one of the executive board must be in the school to have quorum. Otherwise, it's the same. It's 2 executive board members and 6 parents for membership, unless you changed it for your bylaws. But this is the minimum: 2 executive board and 6 parents for quorum. But hybrid meetings, 1 has to be in person so people can greet people and the tech aspect in the meeting. It does not have to be the PTA president. This is where you're going to have a conversation with your executive board. You can rotate who shows up in person, but it has to be 1 executive board in person for hybrid meetings. So it is advised for the virtually and hybrid meetings are recorded just for the minutes purposes, just in case the minutes weren't thorough or weren't taken. You have the recording to fall back to create the minutes for your association meetings. So now a little bit to the financials. This is the next change to the A660. So PA-PTAs are allowed to use online banking portal, through their banking institution. So if they are, so you have not only to check check the statements, balances, you can also use it to pay vendors through the online payment system of a bank. President's Council also made another change is allow them to use a bank card or a debit card to pay for goods and services to a vendor in certain circumstances, meaning that circumstances is that they don't accept physical checks, or then they don't accept electronic checks. Then you will use the bank card / debit card to pay the merchant. But the debit card must not be used absolutely never to withdraw money. You must not use a withdrawal slip to take out cash. You can't use the bank card for the ATM machine. I'm jumping ahead. So what does this mean? Means that term in-person refers to school premises. VRP, virtual remote platform, refers platforms used for meetings to conduct virtually, meaning Zoom, WebEx, Google Meets. Hybrid refers to holding an in-person meeting at the same time a virtual meeting. So it's one meeting in two different locations, but it's run as one meeting. It's hybrid. At the beginning of each school year, the executive board should do a survey or have a discussion with its membership to determine the time, day, and location in the format you're going to conduct general membership meetings. Again, and then when you have that discussion and it's decided, you must update your bylaws accordingly. The elections must only be conducted in person or virtually. Conducting elections in a hybrid meeting is not permitted. So we're going to go into the bank accounts. So again, online banking can be established through the association's financial institution. Also, you will receive a bank card. Some of the banking institution automatically issue a bank card for business accounts. But the one thing you must remember, you must not link accounts, personal accounts, to your association accounts. Also, the DOE, according to Chancellor's regs, in order to, with your financials, everyone must use their DOE issued email account, which each PA-PTA is assigned. If you're not currently using your PA-PTA DOE, meaning at schools.nyc.gov, you must contact your parent coordinator at your school or your family leadership coordinator to get it active, to up and running, because all financials now must use the association's DOE email account. There's no ifs, ands, and buts. You'll be violating the regs if you use any other email in association to financials, right? So the bank accounts, your PayPal, etc., all should have the DOE issued email account as the email assigned to those online things, to your bank account. So again, I mentioned this before, you must not link personal accounts to the association account. And I'm going to give an example. Your PA-PTA is banks at Chase, and you have an account at Chase. Banking institutions likes to link relationships all together. You must tell them not to do that. It is totally prohibited. And it's because to avoid accidental transfers between the associations and personal accounts. So no one who's a signature on the account, and if it happens to bank at that same financial institution, you must ensure that the bank does not link personal accounts to the PA-PTA's account. I'm going to stop here real quick before I continue. Anybody has any questions? No questions? Nobody has questions, Francis?
I'm looking. Let me check in the chat. No, we still have the same question.
Okay, so when I'm done, we'll see if there's any more questions. So we're going to go more into the bank card, debit card. Like I said before, it's to pay vendors, right? with the card only if they don't accept a physical check. Then the next is the electronic checks. If they don't accept that, then you can use the debit card. And when you use the debit card, every time you must fill out a disbursement form. So all bank debit card transactions must receive approval of the general membership. So in the beginning of the year is encouraged when you have that, or when you create it, you review the proposed budget for the school year. It is also encouraged that you add also that the banking card or online banking can be a way to, to pay the finances, the expenses of the budget. So the general membership already knows it might be an option. If you can't use physical checks, then you might use electronic check, or the final and last thing is the debit card. And I mentioned that a disbursement form must accompany each transaction. It's just as that's when you use the debit card. And that is just like when you write a check, you need 2 signatures. So the debit disperse form is the 2 signatures, or the 2 of the signatories for the account to be signed, to keep that check and balances, to make sure, one person is just not making transactions, but 2 are responsible. So a disbursement form must be filled out prior, signed by 2 officers when the debit card is being used. And again, we're just going to go over what the debit card cannot be used for. So third-party mobile applications, and I'm going to use like the mobile phone wallets. A lot of our bank cards, we tie it to taxi service like Lyft and Uber, etc. You cannot add the debit card for those purposes. You can't use it for third parties applications. Direct donations. So if the PAPTA want to donate to someone, you must use physical checks. Out-of-pocket reimbursement. So most of the time, membership or someone from the board buy items for a fundraiser out of pocket. Those reimbursements must be physical check. You must use the physical check to pay back reimbursements. Absolutely, again, no cash withdrawals from the ATM. The only time the association is dealing with cash is collecting it from a fundraiser and you receive cash. No cash back. If you're returning an item and you use a debit card, usually they have a cash refund or cash back. Absolutely not. Even if it's a penny, all refunds or cash, all refunds must go back to that debit card, because initially it will go back to the checking account of the association. Okay, so the regs also states if anyone violates any of these, the uses or abuse of the debit card, it may result in immediate removal of the officer by the chancellor or designee. So it really is not worth it. It's not our funds. It's to help the school out. So just keep in mind, just keep things your personal and the associations separate, completely separate. So with these changes, this automatically means that we all have to amend our bylaws so they'll be in compliance to the A660. So it's good to, we already have, it's required for us to check it every 3 years. But also in the beginning of each school year is also good to go over, because, what was convenient when we meet might not be convenient for the next school year. And also determining the way we meet. Again, now we have a choice. Before we did not have a choice to have these discussions. And then when you review them, to update the bylaws, it will inform your membership why we updating the bylaws, because it's automatically mandated because the chancellor's regs change. But also so the membership can understand what those changes are, what the changes are, and what it means to the association. So again, so you have the chancellor's A660, they have a revised template. They also have a policy guidance related to the amended chancellor's A660. Now I'm going to stop sharing. And I just want to share this real quick right here. Now, we recommend that you use the revised bylaws. I think most people already have the bylaw template. So so make sure that your bylaws are in compliance and you don't miss anything out. For any of the docs, but including these bylaws template, you'll go to the school, the DOE website. So you'll go to schools.nyc.gov. Then you're going to go to Get Involved. You're going to click Get Involved, and then you're going to choose Parent and Parent-Teacher Associations. Once you get to that, once you get into this discrete, the menu of Parent and Parent-Teacher Associations, you're going to scroll down and find a PTA resource folder. You're going to click that resource folder, and then you're going to scroll all the way down to resources, and in parentheses it says additional. So when you get into that menu, you're going to see that the first folder says A660 Revision Resources, December 2021. You will not click on the bylaws. You're going to go to the A660 Revision Resources. You're going to click into there, and then you're going to scroll down to the Revised Chancellor's A660 template. That's November 18, 2021. The PAPT template 2021-2022. And when you do that, this is what you're going to see. This is the cover page. This is the first page, and you'll be able to fill in the information pertaining to your specific association. So I'm going to stop right there. I know I kind of talk fast. Anybody has any questions in regards to the changes?
I don't see any hands up, and there's no questions in the chat.
Oh, that's awesome. So everybody got it. They know. They probably updated their bylaws already. So I'm going to ask you, do you want me to do the hybrid thing, or you want me to wait till next month?
We have another speaker here, and then someone else is coming. So,
Shirley, can I, it's Danielle, can I just ask to clarify, make sure we reiterate for elections, right?
Oh, sure. No problem.
You were saying they have to be done either all in person or all virtual.
That's
right?
correct.
Do a hybrid model for elections.
That's correct.
That's important. Okay.
It does,
Thank
yes. And the reasoning behind that is, we're accustomed to the virtual world and we're accustomed in person. To do elections at this time, they might change it, but it's a double strain, not only on the association, but it's for the school as well, because they will need someone to verify the voters and the candidates on the virtual platform. Then you have another set in the school to verify the voters and the candidates in person. So instead of adding double work, so the association has to choose whether the election is going to happen in person or virtually. So it's not double the work.
Okay, I just have one more question or clarification. So is it also that when PTAs are deciding how they're going to organize their meetings, right? That is a general membership conversation and survey. It's not the board that picks.
Exactly. Yes, the membership drives when the meetings are. And it will be updated in your bylaws. The bylaws will state when and where or how you're having your meetings.
And that could change, right? It's not like certain other organizations that have to stay a certain way. Like 1 month it could be hybrid, 1 month it could be all virtual, and 1 month it could be in person.
Yes, and so the bylaws just have to indicate that they, the association is going to rotate between in-person, hybrid. Long as it states like that in the bylaws, it's fine. So they're not committed to a certain set of it, but the bylaws will say the association decide to alternate how we meet.
So unless there's really a strong opposition to one way or the other, do you suggest that they all put that in their bylaws? Like there will be a rotation, alternation with, I just totally rhymed with communication, monthly communication as to how the meetings will be held.
Yeah, I would, but I also would, the conversation with, is your school capable of doing a hybrid meeting? If your school at this time is not capable to do an effective hybrid meeting, meaning they have all the, the equipment necessary, so it'd be productive and informative and not a hardship, then I would, if they can't do an effective hybrid meeting because they don't have the equipment necessarily to do it, then I would just say at that time, just do virtual in person. But again, things change. I would do all three because you have those options because they're in your bylaws. I would personally do all three.
Yep. And then also one of the things that, because Shirley also presented to our DLT. Thank you, Shirley. You're always so informative and I'm always learning from you. Also PTAs to have conversations with your principals, because if you don't have the capability to do hybrid now, but you want to work towards that, speak to your principals just around layers of support and how together you can grow through that, if that's an option that you want for your community. So, just in terms of technology that you would need, what that looks like. I've already escalated that question for Shirley to Central, just around will there be supports for PTAs from the DOE? Is that something that we are going to be working towards? So just to make sure for right now to have that conversation as a PTA, and then if remote is not something that you can do, to see how the school can help you.
The hybrid.
Yes,
Okay.
hybrid. Thank you.
There's a question here. When it comes to elections, it would be best virtual since you need to be vaccinated to enter school. I'm going to answer that one, and Shirley, you can help me. That is up to your general membership. A lot of the PTAs have chosen, because of that vaccination requirement, to do virtual so that it includes all parents. But yes, if your membership, the majority of your membership says we want to have in person, then those would be the requirements to be in person. But Shirley, can you add to that?
No, absolutely. Again, that's why you have the conversation. At the elections are like around the corner. So but yes, that's absolutely. That's why SLTs are right now are hybrid or completely virtual, not to disenfranchise anybody, because not everyone may be vaccinated. So yes, I agree.
Okay, then it says, thanks for the presentation. When you mentioned about recording the PTA meetings, is it just for the election or for every meeting?
It's advised to record all meetings. And it really is because for the minutes purposes, just in case someone is not there to take the minutes or they didn't capture everything, the recording is there as a reference to your minutes, just in case you missed something, and it's important to have it in the minutes.
And I believe all elections have to be recorded. Yes.
Yeah, if it's virtual, according to the virtual guidance, it should be all recorded. Again, it's for the purpose of for the minutes, but also yes, to make sure everything is up in par. Yes.
Okay, second part of the question is also, we have a parent asking for the meeting recording. We are allowed to share the recording. I can answer that. Yes, you can. And you can send it to them or maybe post it on your site to other parents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to add to that. You can really need membership because not everybody wants to be on camera. So that's why they always state that the recording is for the minutes purposes. So you would have to edit the video before sharing it out to make sure that membership faces or is not seen. And another concern is also some people may have order of protection or they're hiding from people. So it's really important, like when you share those recordings, especially at that level, you have to consider that everybody don't want to be public. They don't want to be be on a public recording or made it available. And, especially those who have order of protection or people are looking for them. So you got to keep that in mind as well.
Yeah, I always say, it's always good practice to disclose that at the beginning of the meeting. At this time, we're going to start recording. If you wish not to show your camera, you can turn it off at this time. I think that's why a lot of people shut off their cameras, so that only the people who feel comfortable putting it on can, and that's some form of protection as well.
Mhm.
Anybody else have any questions? I don't see anyone.
Well-
It's 7:17, Charlotte. If you want to do the hybrid, because I think you said it was only 10 minutes. Since we're on this hybrid topic.
Don't you, okay. I'll share it real quick. All right. I'm going to skip the preliminaries. So we already went the revisions, so let me see here. All right. So we already discussed that the A660 changed, and now one of the options is hybrid. So I'm just going to go real quick. What is needed to have a successful hybrid meeting? So you need to choose a virtual remote platform. In my school, this is based on my school. We did one in November as a trial run. The membership decided that when it's warm, either March or starting in April, all meetings will be hybrid. Right now they're virtual, but November we had a trial hybrid meeting. Then you need to make sure you have the technology and equipment, and then roles and assignments. So I'm going to clarify. So in person, where you're having the meeting on the school premises. The majority of associations are in the auditorium. Some are held in larger classrooms, so you decide where you're going to have it in person. So what platform we're using? I'm hoping that most of us are using the Zoom, because we have that DOE email, which gives us access to free Zoom, and also to a lot of other applications that the DOE has. When you're using that DOE email, gives you access to a lot of other applications as well besides Zoom. So the how. So if it's in person, you're going to need the speaker, camera, and a monitor. So those who are attending for the remote platform version option, not portion, you must have a laptop that has internet access. So your school, you should already have a laptop with internet access. The school should be providing that. So the school will speaker, camera, or monitor. If they have it, again, like Superintendent Danielle said, that we need to make sure you have a conversation. So if the school is not able to provide it, maybe the PAPTA can provide it themselves, but you will need a speaker, camera, and a monitor. And then who? So in person, you need that one executive board member has to be there in person for quorum for hybrid. And who's there? Who's going to greet the members as they come in? Who's going to pass out the attendance sheets and the documents? That's why it's important to at least have one person on the executive board to be there for the in-person portion. Then you have to have assignments on the virtual remote platform. So we're going to say we're using Zoom. You put the attendance sheet in the link in the chat. Who's monitoring the chat for the PAPTA president or the speaker who are speaking to the membership? Who's letting people on the virtual platform? So these things you have to consider and assign, so make sure it's effective. It's like one person cannot be doing all this. Some PAPTAs, and we have suggested that you create a virtual tech or a virtual liaison or a technical person as a board, as part of the board, as a role, to help with the technology. And it doesn't have to be someone on the executive board. It could be someone from membership who is tech savvy, to make sure that they are on the platform and letting people in and monitoring the chat, or setting up the actual technology in the auditorium or in the classroom. So technology and equipment. So with you must have your DOE email account at schools@nyc.gov if you're using the DOE Zoom. According to the virtual guidance, if you're doing your meetings, you must, if you're using Zoom, it must be the DOE Zoom, right? Again, the laptop and with internet connection. Then you have a camera, speaker, smart board, projector, etc. You see different pictures of the speakers and monitors. So this one on the left under camera speakers is a camera and speaker in one, 2-in-1. So this is similar to the one that we use at my school, Francis Lewis High School. So the camera automatically follows the voice. So when someone speaks, it follows and it has the speakers together. So that's the one that we're using. So real quick, this is the example of what the notification should look like. You're invited to a PTA hybrid meeting. You have the registration link, Y'all have links. You don't have the registration links. And it was like to the hybrid PTA hybrid meeting. And so it lets you know you'll receive the link after registering. So those in person, right? So all visitors must be vaccinated to enter the building and must fill out the health screening form. So here we have the health screening form attached to the notice so they can fill it out. So at this particular time, we told them they'd be able to pay their dues and donations in cash or check for those who are attending in person, and et cetera, et cetera. So the day of, you have your laptop, you have your camera and speaker, you have your smart board or projector or screen. So when you make the connections, for us, our principal is tech savvy. The principal had already had the equipment. He purchased it last spring because he foresee that this is the future. So since June, our SOT meetings has been hybrid. So the same equipment that we use, that speaker and camera that we use for the SOT meetings, we use it for our meetings for the PTA. So you have to keep in mind when you use the one who's has the laptop, and those who are in the audience and those who are virtual. So the camera that we're using to conduct the virtual platform, so it connects to those who are in the auditorium in person. The mic can never be muted and the camera can never be shut off. So you must tell those who are in attendance in person to let them know that the mic is unmuted at all times. Otherwise, those who are on the virtual platform can't hear what's going on in person, and vice versa. And the camera is on, so those on the virtual platform can see those who are in person. So real quick, what does a virtual meeting look like? Here's some examples. You have some in person. You see the one person has the laptop, which is connected to the camera and the speaker. And then you see the screen there where two people are joining in. This one is more of an auditorium, and they have a more sophisticated equipment, with the camera and speaker, and they're moving. And you see the screen is on the stage. Again, if you look at France's virtual background, that's what it would look like. You would have some people sitting in those chairs here again, and people. So again, so as a reminder, hybrid meeting means is in person and the virtual together as one simultaneously. They're not two separate meetings. They're functioning as one. And that's it. Working together. I think that anybody has.
Thank you, Shirley. Thank you. And thank you for being here tonight. We really appreciate you.
No, it's my pleasure.
I don't see any questions, so I'll ask one while we're waiting for other hands. So what if a person that goes in person does not want to be recorded and shown in someone's computer?
They're not gonna. It's the virtual platform is what's being recorded. if they want in person and they want to be on the camera, well, it depends on your equipment. So the camera will be go in person. The camera goes to whoever is speaking, right? That's who you're going to see. Sometimes you might see the in general thing, the whole group, depending on the size, right? So if this particular person don't want to be on camera, then they will have to, move out of the camera site.
So they would have to say it, or maybe that should be another
Yeah.
disclosure for in person.
Yeah.
That let them know they're going to be on camera, or this whole meeting is being recorded for people at home.
Right. Like that particular camera that we use for Francis Lewis is the camera's on whoever's speaking. And then if it's nobody speaking, then it shows, whoever they're facing. But yes, so if there's someone who comes in person, yes, you can ask, but they will have to move out of sight of the camera.
So you're suggesting that they get those speakers, but they don't have to have those particular.
No, they don't have. It just happened that my principal bought those. He tried them out because it's supposed to work with the echoes, the acoustics in the room, so you could collaborate them, and that's how he picked that equipment.
And
But
how
you could.
much is that equipment? Is it expensive or?
Well, that one in particular, he was telling me is I think he said it was about 15,000 just for the speaker and the camera. That particular.
I guess we're having virtual.
Well, that again, see, this was like with the conversation, like with Danielle, we were saying that to Central, and they were at this time, this was the old administration, right? Having with Faith, and they were discussing to buying and getting vendors to hook up with them and getting bulk equipments. That was the plan prior to the new administration, and so the districts can buy, these equipments and give it to the school. That was the initial plan. I don't know what the current plan is. As CPAC will definitely bring this up. Because hybrid will satisfy those who want to be in person and those in virtual, or if it's inclement weather, then you could decide we're going virtual. Again, that's why having all those options in your bylaws is there. But yes,
Shirley, we'll do a big fundraiser.
Yeah. So I just happened, our school just happened to luck out that he already bought it. And he saw that will be the best way, because actually before it was told that we need to do our SLTs hybrid, it was the parents who wanted to come in person, so that June meeting, he was able to test out, the equipment. And since then, all our SLTs been hybrid meetings. But yeah, so you have to shop around. You don't have to buy that particular one. They have other versions of that. You could buy the speakers and the camera separate. You may have certain equipment already, that you use for production, for plays and stuff in the school. You need to see what you have and see what is conducive for the meetings.
I can see how the elections can be so complicated.
Yeah, if it was hybrid, yeah. Besides that, yes. Uh-huh.
I don't see anyone else. Last call for questions before we move on to. We have two other presenters tonight. Anyone else for Shirley? Well, if anyone has any questions for Shirley, you could always send it to myself or Esther, and we could always forward it to Shirley, and we will definitely get an answer from Shirley. Shirley, thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thank you, Shirley.
Thank you. No problem. It's a pleasure. I love this district.
That whenever you have something,
Hey, Shirley.
put it first on your list, and you can come back.
All right, no problem. So everyone have a good night, and you have Francis, and you have your great Esther, and your wonderful superintendent, and Louis. They all will help and support, and we're a team, so we have each other as we're going forward through this time. So have a wonderful night, everyone. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Shirley.
Bye.
Thank you, Shirley.
I just want to circle back to the minutes. I do have them in front. Christine, you want to share it, or you want me to share it? You want me to share it?
You can share it, yeah, because I'm not
I put you as a host already, but I'll share it. But
I can,
can't find them. That's why
I just emailed them too. Hold on.
I don't know if this is it. This is not it. This is not. Let me see if this is it.
Here I am.
Can you see it?
No, I don't see yours.
Let me see if it comes out. Did it go in?
Yeah, it looks
Tiny?
tiny. Yeah, I wasn't sure it was my screen. I'm messing around. Does everybody else see it small?
Yep.
Or is it just me?
Let me see if I can open it in the window. Oh, wait.
Oh, I just want to try to zoom in on my computer.
I can try to zoom in.
Jokes
My
on me.
computer's a little slow.
If you want, I can try on mine. I found. I see a blank screen.
Hold on. Let me try this.
Okay,
How's that?
a little better.
Better? More? Should I make it bigger?
You have to ask everybody else. I'm going blind. I can't.
Much better.
I need like a magnifier. I'm like, oh.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah,
Perfect.
that's good. I can see that.
Okay, so if you could look, these are December 20th minutes. So I'm gonna scroll down here and you just tell me when I can keep going down. Just highlight some of the things that we spoke about.
Yes.
Can I go to the next page or? If everyone is done with the minutes, and if someone can please give me a motion to approve them. I think I see someone.
Alice Young.
Alice is motioning. Thank you, Alice. And can I get,
Minutes approved. She said minutes approved.
can I get someone to second that?
And Myrna.
Thank you. Anyone
Okay.
oppose the minutes? Okay, so minutes have been approved. And thank you very much. And if anyone needs a copy of them, just reach out to me. I'll put my email in the chat in a few seconds. Let me stop sharing. Okay, thank you very much. At this time, I want to welcome, we have two other presenters. Right now we have Danielle from Beacon.
Daniela.
I'm
One
sorry,
of the great things about our community is that we have Beacon free programs, and I want Daniela to come here and talk a little bit about what they have to offer, because I feel like, you know, we don't know much about it. So Daniela, please.
Daniela, you're on.
Thank you so much. Hello, everybody. My name is Daniela Rubo. I'm the outreach coordinator at Beacon 194 and Beacon 189. Thank you guys for having me, and thank you, Christine, for inviting me so I can inform you all on all of our free programs and everything we have to offer our community for all ages. I have a presentation that I would love to share if I could. Is there any way I could share my screen?
Okay, let me make you co-host.
You could go ahead and make her co-host. If you can, I'll look for her and
She's co-host already.
then she should be able to share.
Okay. Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so I'm here representing Beacon 194 and the Flushing YMCA. We're in collaboration with Flushing YMCA, and we're funded by DYCD. I work for both Junior High School 194 and for Junior High School 189. So we run free programs. We're funded by DYCD, as I said, and both Beacons are run through the Flushing YMCA. So we follow all of their different protocols and everything like that. And they help us a lot with programming. We have one location, obviously 194 is located in Whitestone, and then our other location, 189, is in Flushing. We also work with the Flushing International High School, which is also inside of Junior High School 189. And we also run a program called Community Schools that is with Beacon. So these are some of our programs. It looks a little bit crazy, just the first look. So I have other slides to kind of break them down, but these are some of the flyers that we hand out. It's basically all of our programs running on the weekdays and on the weekends. So for 189, we have a lot more sports just because we have a gym available to us right now and a lot more space and a schoolyard. So we have Saturday programs like martial arts, we have karate, basketball, and then we have adult programs for basketball, Zumba, and things like that. We also have additional programs. We have like a leaders club, which is for high schoolers or older middle schoolers. And we go over college readiness, internships, things like that. We just started our SAT prep program. It is on a wait list at 189, but we do have a lot of spots available here at 194. We also offer SAT prep for free, and these are through Bell Curves. We also do holiday camps. So like for the most recent upcoming holiday, we have holiday camp on February 1st for the Lunar New Year at 194. And it's open to grades kindergarten to 8th grade. I have a flyer coming up further into the presentation. We also have community schools, and they run different programs like cooking, art, SAT prep on like the weekdays. They do coding, storytelling, and they run a bunch of high school programs. And we have a lot of events open to the community for free, like our fall harvest that we ran this year. We have turkey giveaways where we gave families some turkeys for Thanksgiving. And then we had photos with Santa and his elf kind of event where we can print the photos right there and just give them out. And it was absolutely free event. It was really amazing. We had a Panera holiday at 189 as well, where we ordered Panera bread for all of our like participants in those little individual boxes for COVID. And upcoming, we have a spring carnival that we're gonna host, and then we're also hosting summer camp. But right now 189 is a little bit full, but that's where we have 194. 194, we have a lot of Saturday programs that are pretty popular, and they're open to kindergarten to 8th grade. We have karate, cooking, art, Girls Who Code, game time, different card games. We have Dungeons and Dragons coming soon. It's kind of like a little bit of an improv type of game. It's really cool for the kids. We also have weekday programs. We currently have Zumba going on right now, and we have adult yoga. Other programs that we have, Teens Take the City, where teens get to participate in kind of learning about the city and the laws and everything like that. It's a really cool program as well. We used to have a lot of trips and everything, but due to COVID, it's not as much like that anymore. We have Leaders Club as well at 194 that we have a lot of spots available for, and we have SAT prep, which so many spots available. So if you know anyone in high school who wants some free SAT prep, please, send them our way. And then we have holiday camp as well. And then the events that we ran this year, we did Fall Festival, we did a turkey giveaway, the Panera holiday as well. We did a non-alcoholic holiday paint and sip, but we had eggnog and apple cider and some Christmas cookies. So that was really fun. And we also do summer camp here. So these are some of the upcoming programs that we have available at Beacon 194. We have the holiday camp coming up. So if you have anyone in your schools that are looking for some free aftercare, we are serving grades K to 8th, and it's going to be from 8:30 a.m. to 5:45 p.m. So you can definitely let me know if anyone would want more information on it or would want to sign up. And then we also have our SAT prep that we're really pushing, because I know when I was in high school, I would have loved to have like a free SAT prep. My mom spent so much money on that. And it's just open to anyone. So I think it's really great. I'm also gonna mention the YMCA. It's like our home. So we have some free stuff from the YMCA as well. We have a lifeguard certification program. It usually can run you up to like $400 to get this certification, but the YMCA offers it to our community for free. We're really looking with this program to employ, the youth and help them get jobs. So we have a lot of positions opened for lifeguard positions. We always have hours open. We have swim coaches. We have a swim team, the Flushing Flyers. We have swim instructors at the YMCA. So this lifeguard certification, although you don't have to have employment after with us, this is just a great skill to have. And I think it's really great that it's offered for free. And this is all that it has to offer, life support, oxygen administration. They do all the different like virtual classrooms and pool skills. We also have New Americans. Our New Americans office is open to immigrants that just came to the country. It's free as well. And we offer English classes, help with citizenships, preparation, job readiness, and all types of things. So that's open to the community as well. And then we also have our early childhood, where we're offering universal pre-K and 3K. Then we have our Y membership. This is not free, but it comes at a cost. We actually are running a promotion right now, but there is financial assistance available if anyone wanted to join the gym. But we do have a promotion where if you stay for 3 months, you get your fourth month free, plus $0 joiners fee until the end of January. So pretty good deal. I always say the YMCA. Flushing YMCA is not just a gym. There's so many different facilities. We have all these different classes, Zumba yoga, we have a racquetball court, ping pong room, weightlifting, open basketball. We have a bunch of events in the basketball too. We have a parking lot, which is great in Flushing. And we have a cafe that just reopened and 2 swimming pools. And then for community events from the Flushing YMCA, we just had a stand up to Asian hate and a self-defense demo, which was really nice for our community, I think, and it was free. We gave out t-shirts and some self-defense, like little keychains that would ring if, an intruder would be nearby. So that was very nice. I think the community really enjoyed that. We had a Halloween spectacular, Fall Fest. We actually had an ice skating ring put into the parking lot for our holiday party. And that was really nice for families. We usually run community carnivals when the warmer times come about. And we also do blood drives with the New York Blood Center. And we are open with a lot of voting information. So that's always good. These are some photos so you can kind of visualize a little bit of what we do here at our beacons and at our Ys. We have the turkey giveaway. We have the paint and sip, our after school program. And then these are some of our other photos and little clips of our Saturday program with all our kids and our events like our fall festival, our fall harvest, and our photos with Santa. That were really fun. So yeah, if you guys have any questions or you want to know more about Beacon, I would really encourage you to follow our Instagram. I run both of 194 and 189's accounts. We don't have our own personal website, and this is the best place to find information. So we have all Beacon information, photos, event announcements, program updates, important links, trivias, and we even do giveaways on our account. You can always contact me if you want any Beacon information at drubo@ymcanyc.org, or you can email both of our Beacon email addresses. And for the YMCA, unfortunately, my executive director really wanted to be on the call, but she couldn't today. Something had come up, but if you ever want to know anything about the Y, you can also go to their website. You can follow their Instagram and you can contact her. She put her personal information here. So T Dunbar at YMCA NYC, or you can even contact her using her phone number. So thank you guys so much for letting me share this with you. I hope that our programs really call out to you. They are really, really free. There's no catch. So I hope that I'll see some of your kids or some of you guys here at 194, 189. So thank you.
Thank you, Daniela. That was awesome. It sounds great. And I have a few questions here in the chat.
Thank you.
I have, how can students from other middle schools sign up for the free SAT program? Do they just email you?
Yes, so for our SAT program, you can, it's from any school, so that would be fine. We do run it on Saturdays here at 194. So you can just email me and we can forward you the instructions on how to apply on DYCD's website. And then we would email you back with a confirmation and you would let us know you wanted to join our SAT program, and that's really it. We do only offer SAT at 194. If you're looking for SHSAT, you could always go to our other school at Beacon 189, and the same thing applies there.
Can you share your email in the chat? Or?
Sure, I can share it in the chat.
Guys, I'm also working on 194's page, and I'm gonna try to put up like a Beacon tab. So when you guys need the information, I'll share that. I'm still working on it though. But we should be able to find some of the flyers and stuff like that, and her contact information there, especially because it's through 194. So,
thank you,
and I think once you register for
You'd
one
always go to
thing,
Christine. She's a great advocate for
once you register for one thing in Beacon, you're kind of like, you're like a member. So when you see something that you
you're
like,
a member.
Yeah, you could just sign up. So it's easier the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth time around. And I have to say, I know kids that go there and they do the events and they love it. They really, really do. And on a good year, on a normal year, they've taken them snowboarding and skiing. Like, what? For free. That's the best part. It's free. There's no catch. There's no like go now, pay later kind of thing. It's really just free all around, and it's great. The kids love it. Thank you for everything that you do.
Yes, thank you, Daniela. That was awesome.
Thank you.
If anybody has any questions, Daniela left her email in the chat, and I also left our email for President's Council as well. At this time, we want to welcome from Miss Chocolate, Mr. Lou, because we love when you come in person because you give us all these like chocolates and raffles, and I know we have to do it virtually, but this is what it is. So we welcome you, Lou. You're on.
You're muted.
You have to unmute yourself. There you go.
I just unmuted. I'm a little slow on here because, well, fortunately, unfortunately, I'm in Orlando, Florida right now.
Nice.
I'm at a my national fundraisers show where we usually have it every year at different locations. This year it happens to be in Orlando. That's where I am at the present. So I had to work. I'm working out of my hotel room off of my iPad. So I don't have much to show you right now, but I have a lot to talk about. So you could just give me the throat, cut off when you decide. But one of the main reasons, just to give you a little information, because I was just scrolling by a little bit, excuse me, and checking, I see a lot of new names up here. And for those of you that know me, I say, first of all, Francis, thank you for the invite. And I see a few names that I'm familiar with, that I've worked with for many years, on and off, some I'm still working with. But unfortunately, or is it fortunately, a lot of new names, which is a good thing. Since COVID, for those of you that don't know me, just to back up a little bit, the name of my company is Miss Chocolate Fundraising, but don't get scared, as the old saying goes, we're not just candy anymore. Miss Chocolate's been around we've already celebrated our 50th anniversary. We started back in '68. I'm with the company, not fairly new, at 36 years. I'm co-owner of the company for the past 25 years and the sales manager. So, and your District 25, as some of you know, I've been working with pretty much, started with in the beginning of those 36 years. So I've been through many PTAs, many principals, but I love your district. It's one of the best, if not I would say the best district that I have worked with through all 5 boroughs in New York. Now, on saying that, again, just wanted to give you a little information about myself, but I am the personal rep also in your District 25. And for me, the 36 years I'm in the business, as for all of us, this COVID is all new. But for me, 36 years in the fundraising business, I would show up at your schools physically, which I love to do. I'm hate to say in your face, but in your school, in your face type of a sales rep. But I don't like to not think of it as being just a sales rep. I enjoy what I'm doing because I enjoy helping people, especially the kids. It's great. I love doing the kickoff assemblies like we all used to do, and give away prizes, and like Francis mentioned, come to your meetings and do donations and raffles and giveaways, which by the way, I guess I could still ship you and you could do them, yourselves. I could still, we'll discuss this later on, but I'm still willing to do donations for your district. However you want to just, give them away, that's up to you. You could decide on that, but I'll work with you on that. Since COVID now, for those of you that are not familiar with fundraising, the BC way. BC is before COVID way. So the before COVID way was obviously everything, a lot more was put into your laps, where the PTAs in the school, we would do let's say start with product brochure sales. Now, we do everything from all candy bars. We do the pretzel rods, the $1 candy bars. I also distribute the world's finest bars in certain districts. Some of your districts are okay. Some schools are not if you've already been working with world's finest, but they picked us up also to be a distributor for them. But in addition to the candy bars, we do all assorted types of product brochure sales. That being we have 2 main two main fundraising seasons, the fall, the spring. Now we're working on the spring program. I don't have a slideshow to show you, but my spring brochure. All of this is online at this moment. Besides the general spring program that has from 50 to 100 items in the product brochure itself that we used to distribute, and we still do. We distribute it to the students. We have cookie dough. As I mentioned, the dollar bars. We have sweet treats. We have frozen cookie dough. We have pies. You name it, we have it, for fundraising. And we also, I don't want to jump around too much, but I'll mention in a few minutes, we also do the holiday boutique sales, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Valentine's Day, the fall holiday seasons for the boutiques, where, again, in the past, we would ship everything into the school. You would distribute it out. students would come down, have a kind of a field day, going shopping for family, friends, and relatives. And we still do these. We also have online, which I'm going to talk to you in a minute, because I know that's kind of the way we're going now, myself included. You know, those 34 years of me being in the field, being at your school, meeting with the individual schools, PTA presidents, fundraising committees, the entire board. I've dealt with many of your principals on their fundraisers also. So this was what I always loved, the person to person. I'm just getting used to this, you know, after now 2 years of full COVID. Everything has been obviously on Zoom. I haven't visited very few schools. I have done a few, but everything is pretty much hybrid, virtual. Now, as far as the fundraising programs go, from the beginning, we've always had an online presence. A little bit, where in the past, before COVID, it might have been a 80% physical kits going home to the students, coming back to the PTA, you collecting the money, me getting your order forms, pre-packing the orders, delivering them to your schools. The PTAs would distribute them out to the students, so on and so forth. Now, we still do that, but and we also have a straight virtual way of online ordering with a ship to home program and or ship to school. And in the beginning, let's face it, I guess from the spring, for those of you that attended my brunch, we usually used to do a brunch every year. Last couple of years was at the New Hyde Park Inn. I know a few of you did attend that. In fact, that was in March. That was on March 11th of 2020. Unfortunately, on March, and we had about a 70, 80%, where we usually get a 99% turnout. We probably had about I would say a 70% turnout, because it was just at the start of COVID. In fact, 2 days later, I think it was on a Friday, March 13th of 2020, is when the schools shut down. That's when COVID hit hard. So as far as fundraising goes, we really did nothing in that spring. I mean, we're around, we're in business, and always were. But the spring of 2020 was we were all just hanging on for our dear lives. All right, we did a little bit of business in the fall of 20, and have progressively gotten much more business with many schools that I've been working with. A lot of it online ordering with a ship to home or an option of a ship to school. This past fall of 21, we did very well. Some schools, in fact, have been doing better with online programs, and say, you know something, I don't even want to go back to that way. You know, we made more money this way, or as much money as we did in the past. So to kind of narrow it down a little bit, we could do a combined type of fundraising for, which isn't really too popular as far as being 100%, when I say before COVID way, with the brochures, and that's strictly being the only way to do it. Now we do a hybrid version where if you're allowed to get the sales kits in, what we've learned from COVID and this online selling is that by still getting something physically in the students' hands to bring home, it's a much better profitable program for all, obviously the schools. So because rather than just putting it, we have links that we put it on. Excuse me, I just got a phone call. Can't speak right now. So before in the past, where we were just doing it kind of on a send home, and now when we started the online ordering with ship to home, and you weren't allowed to send product brochures or anything home, we were just putting up links. We have online links that you could use. We have different types of links that you could post on your dojo, Facebook, Instagram, any social media sites. I have a half dozen of those that I could send all of you to view how we do it now online. And that has been very successful. However, going in, as I said, as COVID has been progressing and this past fall, and now we're starting in with the spring again, much better. As far as doing the combination way, some of the schools are electing to still send product brochures home and accept money and orders back to the school. If you decide you don't want to do that, we ask, and I think it's very beneficial for you to at least, all we say is we'll still send the sales kits in, meaning a physical brochure that the parents could see, a prize program, a cover letter. We do it in multiple languages if you like, and that physically would go home. But then we could say right in the letter that the fundraising program this year is going to be all online only, with a ship to home only, or an option to ship to school. So parents will be able to do it the old-fashioned way with sending orders back to the school, and you mail me in those order forms. We pre-package it. We could ship it to the school for distribution, or we could ship it, direct to families' homes. So we're doing that on pretty much all aspects of our fundraising. As far as the product brochure sales, the holiday boutique sales, we do it, as I mentioned. We have it, for those of you that are not aware, we also do school supplies. We work with EPI company, who's one of the largest national companies for school supplies. That's where you would get me your school supply lists for the following year by grade. I give you price quotes exactly at your cost. This is for school supplies. You let me know. You would send me, and I know unfortunately in the city, they come out very late. In other areas that we deal with, all of Long Island, and we work a lot with New Jersey, Connecticut, the whole tri-state area, they get them a little bit quicker. But either way, we could post these online. I would get you the quotes. You decide on how much you want to sell them for. So you can, obviously, you could make some money on that. Also, and it's a convenience to the parents. I mean, who wants to go out running around to stores buying? EPI guarantees that they'll beat any offer on school supplies by at least 3 to 5%. They guarantee all of their products, which we have very few problems with them. But if there's anything wrong with anything, you don't like the calculator or the pencils you got, we just replace them instantly. So they've been very good with us in the schools. We haven't had a problem. We've been dealing with them for probably at least 15 years now, and they've been exceptional with their service and quality. We have all different grades of school supplies, and all I would ask is if you send me your grade lists, is that you be as specific as you can. If you want a box of crayons, a 12-pack of crayons, just let me know. Do you want Crayola? Not a problem. We get all brands. We have a less expensive brand. We have a medium brand. You have top end. So you be as specific as you can, and we'll get you exactly what you want. And I would get you those quotes back to you. And then we can work it from there, putting the list together and how the ordering would go. In fact, one of the main reasons we're here, we have our product lines pretty much in place. But I'm looking right now for a little more upgrading on our technical online programs. In fact, I have a meeting first thing in the morning with a photographer who does these. And we started with a few, but it's a little bit more time consuming to work out a few different ones for the different school levels, because we do work with daycare centers also. The bulk of our business is through elementary schools, the K-2, 5 or 6 level. We do a lot of business also with middle schools, IS, junior high schools, and I'm sorry, I had to mute another 2-3 phone calls here that were coming in. So we're working on different kickoff type of assemblies, where in the past, where I would come into your school, do a kickoff, as I mentioned, to the students, kind of get them motivated We always talk about safety, motivation, prize incentives. So we're working on doing a virtual kickoff assembly to go along with these programs, for moving ahead forward. For hopefully this spring we'll have it in place, but I would think by the fall season, we definitely will have it in place. Maybe I should slow down and just stop for a minute and see if there's any questions at this point. All right, so I'll take a breather. Do you have any questions on board there, Francis, that somebody might want to ask?
There's no questions in the chat. I did put your website in the chat though.
Okay. If you like, I know you have all my information. If you want to put my email in there, my cell phone number is there, or if I could give it to you right now, it's 516-835-4273. I'll repeat that again. It's 516-835-4273. Now, my email address is Loun as in Nancy, Loun at misschocolate.com. Our website is misschocolate.com. So you can view pretty much all of our programs. Besides the product lines, the school supplies will be in there, the information at our website, the holiday boutique information. I do clothing, school apparel also, that's on there. So, and the big thing is with my cell phone number, I want you to feel comfortable, anybody, and that's why I'm getting interrupted here, but it's okay. It's 8:00, that's fine. You could call me, you could text me, you could email me anytime, day, night, weekends, I'm always available to you. My wife's understanding, she worked for the company for almost 25 years as customer service and data enter and some computer work. So she's familiar with the 24/7 type of job I have. So
Lou, you have you work on consignment too, right?
yes, we do
I just
consign.
Yeah, I just want to let PTAs know that whatever you don't sell, Lou takes back. And then if you need anything replenished, he also brings it to you. So,
Right. Thank you for filling that in for me, Francis. Yes. Like when you're talking about the holiday boutique sales, let's say Mother's Day, Father's Day, we would ship you in, a bunch of, for those of you that have done your sales before, you have a good idea. Let's say you may sell, let's say $5,000 worth of merchandise. We'll send you in 7,000 or 8,000 of assorted merchandise that you could hand select. Now, we do have a presentation room at our warehouse in Melville, Long Island. It's right on the Nassau-Queens border off the LIE, aka 495 Long Island Expressway. You're more than welcome to come out. When we have our showrooms open, masked, we're fully, set up for COVID situations. Or you could do it online. So you could physically, because some schools still come out, they like to touchy-feely, see the products up front. We make appointments, so one school comes in at a time to view our showroom. When you do your selections that way, or you could, we put it up online for you, that you could view the items. You'll see the items, you'll see the cost of it. You could have your markup on that, okay? And again, we ship you plenty of merchandise in. You'd have your sale. This is for in-school, obviously, the in-school holiday boutiques. If you need additional products, some schools do it 1 day, 2 days, 3, right up to 5 days. So if you do need a replenishment of those items, we get it out for you by the next day. We have our own drivers, our own trucks. So it's not like we have to UPS and you have to wait 2 days. If you have a 2-day sale, at the end of the first day, you call my office, that you need supplies, obviously some additional product for the following day, UPS ain't going to help you. So we send it out first thing the following morning by our own trucks and drivers. And as Francis mentioned, any products, all products are guaranteed 100% damages, breakage, whatever you sell. and we pick up the balance, and you only pay for what you actually sell for. Okay, and you have your markup on that. Now for the online ordering, we could right now we have it priced out that if you want to do it in a combination of both or just a virtual type of a way. In fact, we furnish you with cash registers also that you could use, and we could program for you at either a 15 or 25% markup for yourself for the schools to make their money. Again, under different conditions. In other words, let's say you run a product brochure sale, you're going to run a boutique with me. We have a lot of different incentives that we give away. TVs, I give you a free register that you could use for other types of occasions for your school. So we do a lot of donations and giveaways to you for extra perks for the PTA for running your business with me. So, I'm open to any kind of questions you may have now. Or what I did notice was there's a lot of new names out there and faces, or just blanks with the names, which I didn't have in the past. So it's a lot, it's been a lot of homework for me trying to dig onto the sites, because unfortunately, even if I call a school and I know a secretary, or I'm sorry, Lou, I can't give you that information. Just try this email, and that doesn't work. And then I contact some of the PTA that I've been working with in the past, and well, I don't have the new PTA. I'm out of that school now. And a lot has changed since COVID. Let's face it. We all know that. A lot of retirees from principals and PTAs have left. So we have a lot of new fresh blood. So it's great to see you all there. And I look forward to working with you.
Thank you, Lou. Thank you so much for coming tonight. Does anyone have any questions for Lou? His email and information is in the chat. One good thing, Lou, is that when we have any great fundraisers, and we always share best practices with our, district. And so we spread the word goes around quick. So I'm sure, your information will be spread out. There's a lot of fundraisers to be had, and Valentine's is coming up. So I'm sure you're going to be busy.
I'll have to send you a dozen roses, right?
Oh, thank you. So if anyone doesn't have any questions, we thank you again, Lou, for coming, and let us know when you can come again, maybe,
Yeah, I like to prepare when I'm back at the office or back home, in front of the computers, where I can prepare a more visual presentation for you. So I look forward to that.
When we're back in person, you'll be the first one we call.
I'm sure.
All right,
Okay.
Lou, thank you so much.
Time. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So at this time, I just want to remind all the PTAs, it's a financial report of all PTAs is due January 30th. That's the financial interim report that all PTAs have to fill out. I just wanted to remind, please tell your PTAs, spread the word around. And I just wanted we haven't received a lot of questions from our district. Our PTA seems to be doing very well, and we're always here to support you. We did receive one question that maybe perhaps somebody else might have, so we're just going to bring it here. So there was a PTA that was asking, they were very overwhelmed with with everything going on with COVID, and wanted to know if they can skip a monthly meeting. We could never, as President's Council, advise that you skip a meeting, right? But we know that things happen. So you always have to be in constant communication with your general membership, and know that in every bylaws and the chancellor's regs, you have to meet at least 10 times a year. So if you could, and we recommend once a month because it would be easier. So if you skip a meeting, you would have to then have 2 meetings in 1 month to kind of catch up to yourself. So don't know if but in either case, it's always good practice to meet with your membership once a month to kind of update them of what's going on, any new updates. So I just wanted to put that out there. So they did end up having their meeting, but that was just a question that came in. So at this time, it's 8:16.
Wait, I had 2, Francis, I had 2 questions that came in today.
Okay, go ahead.
So this school was asking if they're already preparing for elections, and they wanted to know if they were only successful in getting like the co-president or the president, where they would be a functioning PAPTA. Just reminder that out of the 3 core members that you need for your PAPTA to be in compliance, it's your president or co, treasurers or co, recording secretary or co's. If you have one of those, you are technically in compliance, but remember, come September, you were not going to be able to do any work because according to your bylaws. So you really want to push to go ahead and have all 3, even though the bylaws did change a few years ago, where only one is necessary. Here at District 26 and President's Council, we always push all our schools to try to get all core members so that you don't have that issue come September. And I think the other question was, what happens if somebody from the school does not show up to the meeting, to our PAPTA meeting, some staff, or they can't make it? Can we go ahead and have our meeting? And I said, usually it is advised that somebody from the school attend in person. It would always be the parent coordinator that would attend the PAPTA meetings. Online, it is advised to all our schools that somebody from the school be in attendance. Should there be a question that cannot be answered, somebody from the staff could go ahead and answer. In the event that something happens and there's another event going on during that time and people are popping in and out, you can continue to have your PAPTA meeting, but it's always recommended that you double check with your principal or your parent coordinator to make sure that somebody from the school is there. And that's it. That's all I got. And that I got today.
Okay, thank you, Esther.
There's a question that just popped in.
Anyone else have any questions of anything that we discussed tonight? Going once, going twice. Okay, there are no questions. I did leave.
There's one in the chat. Do you see it?
What is it?
Sorry, I didn't send it to the whole group.
Oh no.
Oh,
hold
I
on.
just sent it to you.
Oh, okay, hold on. I'm trying. Hold on, because it just I see like portion of it, but I don't see all of it. Hold on a second.
I'll just ask you here. So what happened is one of the family in our school had a fire yesterday and they lost everything. So I had talked to our PC. So we want to see as PTA, how can we support this family? Can we, send them supplies, buy food, or because I don't know, like what can the PTA do?
Oh,
Okay,
I'm
so-
going on that. Oh, go ahead, Esther.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say that, a lot of unfortunate things happen sometimes, and we always, because we're human, we want to be compassionate and help out. But there's just the whole saying is that what you do for one, you have to do for all families. So then you have to now think back and say, are you gonna, or how many? We hope this doesn't happen to any families, but it's something that you have to think about, so that if you do for one family, another family who may have some type of tragedy that you don't know about or whatever, they might then say, well, no one did something for me. So we try to have to be fair across the board. But if it's something like small that you want to do for the family, you would have to bring it to your general membership and ask them to see if they're on board with you to do that. Because remember, and I'm just going to say this, PTA funds are for the children. It's for the schools. And we're technically not allowed to give to one entity. It's really supposed to be for the whole school, for all the students. So when you look at it at that perspective, that would answer your question. You know what I mean? We're technically,
perfect.
you know what I mean? We're technically
Yeah.
not
Mm-hmm.
to use PTA funds for one entity, which would be that one family. But we want to do something nice. But any donations outside of that, if people want to do privately, that's always allowed. But I just want to put that out there, that that's what PTA funds are supposed to be used for. Esther, did you want to add something?
hold on a second. Also, a lot of schools that have had similar, similar tragedies happen to families. There's somebody that goes ahead and starts a GoFundMe page, or I mean, not a GoFundMe page, yeah, a GoFundMe, and they could go ahead and share that with the families. That's something the PAPTA could do. It's not something the school could do. If you want to go, and remember that on your budget, there should always be something allocated, like emergency funds. A lot of schools have like $100, $200 allocated for emergencies in their budget. You could go ahead and give them a small token. But again, if you can't give one family $5,000, because you won't be able to give $5,000 to all the schools. I mean, to all the families. So you want to maybe set up a GoFundMe page and help them that way.
But just know that any GoFundMe's cannot be linked to, and if it's going to be run by the PTA, cannot be linked to a personal account.
Yeah.
Anything that's done online with PTAs has to be directed to the PTA account. So I just want to put that out there as well.
Sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome. The next question we have, Esther, is where do we submit the financial interim that is due on January 30th?
So that is something that you submit to your principal. So they could go ahead and have a copy, and then you always submit one to President's Council. Then the school will then go ahead and submit that into the SPLCI system so that you could go ahead and be in compliance.
Okay, does anyone else have any other questions? Christine, do you want to share anything before we wrap up? I want to thank all our speakers tonight. I thought everyone had something great to offer, and I hope that we answered many of your questions tonight. I want to thank you again for being parent leaders. You make our district great, and we appreciate you. And Esther, thank you. Danielle, thank you. Louis and Michael, thank you. If no one else has any questions, we're going to close out this meeting. It's 8:24. Can I get a motion to close out this meeting?
Motion to close.
Thank
We'll
you.
stick around if you have any questions.
Yes, we'll stick around. And anyone else?
Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone.
And have
Have
a
a great night, everyone.
Good night.